It's the last panel of the day. We will have still one keynote later. I'm really glad to welcome our speakers, Frédéric, Chirel, George, and Carol. We will talk about the intersection of gaming and social impact, how GameFi and Web3 enable meaningful change. But first of all, guys, I want to let you each one introduce yourself quickly, explaining what you are doing, and most importantly, why are you involved in Web3? So let's start with Frédéric.
Yeah,
Welcome, and thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you, Laurent. Thank you so much for having me on board. So my name is Frédéric Ramet. I'm a chief digital officer and advisor for Web3 startups. I've been working for the last 20 years in digital production, so digital marketing for major brands in a web agency. Building hundreds of Web2 projects, running a mobile game studio and doing some free-to-play titles. And lately, working on the digital transformation of Boria Group, which is a land-based casino group, and work on online casino for Switzerland and online sport betting in France. But now I'm fully Web3, and I work with Web3 startups and helps brands to build their metaverse strategy. Just try to simply share my understanding of digital technologies and Web3 ecosystem. I did a lot of digital marketing, games, and gambling. So exploring GameFi is a real pleasure. I have a lot of curiosity for that. And today, as a co-founder of the Scubaverse, I'm working on innovative model of GameFi for impact. So that's,
Thanks to you, Frédéric, and welcome again. Chirel, welcome.
Well, thank you. Good day, I will say, considering all the time zones that are here. I am Sherelle Francis. I am founder and owner of the iLeap Group, and we are named for those who are willing to take an innovative jump. We focus on supporting minority serving institutes at large in higher education that serve primarily the underserved. And I'm here, I sit on the esports board and School of Business at Morris Brown. But particularly, I am interested in making sure that those who are underserved in the demographic that are often overlooked are focused on and are not forgotten. They are a great part of the contribution and population that we are looking at. And when it comes to the gaming industry, we particularly focus on the curriculum and the business fact and how we are mesmerized that when these two worlds come together, we see our students grow exponentially. And we want to make sure that they are a part of closing the digital divide. I often say demolishing the digital divide. And we find that they have so much to contribute. So this conversation really excites me. And growing up in a home with 12 boys, being the only girl for 14 years, I was surrounded by Atari, Nintendo, and many other games. And so I find it all really exciting and where we're going with it. I think it's a wonderful challenge. And so I'm glad to be here, a part of the panel, and contribute and learn more importantly. So thank you for having me.
Thanks to you. George, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm George Levy. I'm the CEO of Blockchain Institute of Technology. We're the world standard for blockchain education and certification. We have about 170 something thousand students worldwide. And the reason why this is so important to me is that what we focus on is bringing education and ensuring that people have access to this. We have to democratize this opportunity because otherwise centralized entities have control. And the point is that people learn how to be able to leverage blockchain technology, leverage all the decentralization opportunities we have with blockchain. That brings opportunities to the masses. And that's what I want to be able to bring to the world this opportunity. So thank you so much for letting me be here.
Thanks to you. And Carol, welcome.
Welcome. Hi, everybody. I'm Carol. Good morning because I'm in Hawaii right now, so it's the morning. I'm passionate about NFTs and crypto and gaming. Like Shirel, I grew up like playing video games, mostly with my brother. And I invested in many NFTs and crypto and tokens like Gods Unchained, DeFi Kingdom when it was hyped last year, Rollercoin, stuff like that. And and also I co-host a podcast in French on NFTs. So I'm very passionate about all of this, and I work in innovation. I wrote a book on innovation last year, and I'm really passionate about new tech and Web3.
Welcome again, and thanks to all to take part of this experience and this journey. So let's dive in the today discussion intersection of gaming and social impact, how GameFi and Web3 enable meaningful change. I'm personally engaged in doing what I do to bring a sustainable alternative to the current system. I'm not the one who want to disrupt and erase everything. I think it will be a kind of coexistence and bringing not only innovation but also sustainable and long-term oriented use case, and also trying to create a space where new people could join, feeling safe and in a welcoming place. So, what is your point of view regarding? We talk about GameFi, gaming, Web3 gaming, social fi. How do you see this project, this innovation, bringing real and concretely a change for each one, everyone, and not only in privileged countries but everywhere? Who want to start? George?
Yeah, I actually, I'm just going to narrow it down. I think there's 6 key areas that I specifically think of when I do the cross between gaming, finance, and Web3. I think there's 6 specific areas I focus on. Number 1 is financial inclusion, letting people that don't have access to bank accounts being able to participate and actually be able to earn from their contributions. The second one is democratizing gaming, because the gaming platforms are controlled by centralized entities. It's the Activisions of the world, the big companies are. So with Web3 and GameFi, we actually are able to democratize. More people can participate. The third one is transparency and trust. Blockchain enables you to have a single source of truth, be able to verify for yourself. The fourth one is incentivizing positive behaviors. You can actually incentivize people to do things that you want them to do. The fifth one is actually being able to fund social causes. And the last one is, as I mentioned, decentralization, bringing the opportunity to everybody, not just the centralized entities. Those are my 6 key areas I would focus on.
Thank you, George. But how can we bring this concretely? What can we do, and what should we do? We see a lot of short-term oriented people here, scam, people who just want to take profit and guided by hyper speculation. Which advice and what should we be focused on to really talk about change in our society? Shirel, what is your point of view?
So for me, especially from an education perspective, I'm always thinking about access. One of the things I'm always thinking about, broadband. When we consider that 40% of homes were exacerbated in the inner city and rural serving by the pandemic globally, right? 1 in every 4 students had an issue with accessing learning. And then we just think about GameFi and we talk about democratization. I always go back to the infrastructure. How many of these young people, our future generation, would not have access to the opportunity to participate? So for me, it is the upskilling and it is the access. I think that if they have access to the opportunity to participate, then we have true democratization. So my first question will always be, is the infrastructure there for them to participate? Are they able to have opportunities to schools, to the upskilling, to the education, to cybersecurity readiness? Because for every opportunity to participate in financial security, and I would say independence, right? Then they also need to know how to be secure. One of the things with the population that I so often work with is that the influence, democratization, having this independence requires you to be very aware in the information that they're being fed. This gives them a whole opportunity to now explore. But for me, it comes down to access because they have this creative mind. So now they have a breadth of information. And one of the things with GameFi, we still have social influence, right? And so now we're breaking that up. So what are we breaking it up for? And do they have access to it? So making sure we're providing opportunity to infrastructure, access, and affordability, and more importantly, security. So I always say it's the ABCs of what iLeap Group does: access, broadband, cybersecurity, and cloud platform, or everything else is for naught.
Thank you, Cheryl. Carol, what is your point of view? You are mute, apparently.
Oh, yes. Can you just repeat the question so I can get back to it, please?
Yeah, how can GameFi and Web3 can really bring a real change, and how can we see this, which use case, what do we miss, what do we need to really be able to talk about changing life and bringing new opportunities to people through GameFi?
Yeah, so thank you, Laurent. Yeah, I think it's like mostly a question of education because GameFi is not very easy to understand. It's driven by greed, like everything in crypto and NFTs. I was looking at the numbers on some GameFi, Axie Infinity. The token is like so low today. It's 10. It reached 74 last year. DeFi Kingdom, that was really big on the Harmony blockchain, is 0.2. It used to be, it reached $11. I know because I was there and I didn't sell when it was high because I was like, it's going to go higher. Even though I know better and I've been in crypto since 2017. Same for Gods Unchained, same for many GameFi that are based on tokens and on the idea that you can accumulate tokens by either stacking or doing things on their platform and then thinking that you're going to make money from it because of course some games are educational, but most of the games are based on getting richer. So for me, like first of all, it would be like education, like educating people and how it works. That's very fluctuant. It's not like something that's, I mean, the technology by itself, Web3 it's amazing. It can be very good for everyone, but the use today is very dangerous in my mind. So first of all, I would say educate about how it works and how fast it can switch from one to another.
Thank you. I used to say, and I repeat it constantly, that we should maybe hold on innovating in the technical point of view and start rethinking the why, the purpose of what we are doing, and
Yes.
having a really long-term vision. If we bring the same behavior or the same business approach that we see outside in Web3, we all know how it will end, and it's useless. Frédéric, what is your point of view?
Obviously, education is the basis, the first layer on which we should build whatever our action are. Once we said that, sometimes it's quite difficult, because even if you are educated and you know a lot about Web3 and you've seen a lot of product, it's quite hard to just dive into the tokenomics and identify what can be the failure. And then even if you have done this, you're still, you've got this little greedy body on your shoulders saying, okay. And so, education, but I think we need what kind of thing you are doing today just to gather the goodwill and to have this community of people who are helping each other. I found a lot of help in Telegram groups with people just explaining how it works, what are the project, and just together we were much stronger, and we achieved to understand project and okay to take care. So this is on the individual side, but GameFi is still at the early age. We are experimenting. People are some people are scammers. Okay, so they are doing rug pulls, but there may be other projects where people have not bad behaviors, but they do not control enough what they are doing about security, about tokenomics. So I guess there's also something to do there to support them and provide guidelines, guidance to help them to achieve what is the best for the people. And maybe the last point regarding my previous background with free-to-play and gambling. Okay, this has nothing to do with Web3. There's no crypto scam there, but okay, free-to-play is using cognitive bias to let's say take benefit of the behavior of the people. And when you're running a gambling house, okay, you're just managing the thin line between gaming behavior and addiction. Okay, so even in not in other domain than GameFi, the professional need to have to keep in mind that they are offering service to people, and they just have things right to do, and you shouldn't have provoke bad behaviors.
Thank you. Shirel, what kind of change would you like to see emerging from Web3 and GameFi or gaming, Web3 gaming industry?
So for me, one of the pieces I was really thinking about yesterday too, infrastructure. I believe it's Chang, if I'm not mistaken, with Miston Labs. Yes, Chang and Miston Labs, and he's going through redeveloping his infrastructure as they're rebuilding, right? And so I would like to see in Web3 the discussion of equality and equity and how we are looking at safety. And when we talk about finance, a lot of the socialify and GameFi is really about the influencer and monetizing and this kind of conversation and the token. But how are we looking at how it's going to be for better and not from a position of cliche? Because I think a lot of the talk has been cliche, right? I'm going to say something that's probably a little not happily taken. I live in South Florida now. I live 30 minutes or so from Miami, right? I am in NFT, Web3. I am in like the epis, if we will. And so I would like to see a conversation that's more holistic about what really better looks like for most and all, not for just a group. And sometimes I feel the conversation begins to lean towards better for the digital elitists. So I
Yeah.
would like to see it as a very equitable and liberated conversation, because the truth for me is 1 out of 4 students don't have access. So what does it look like when we're talking about open market, when we're talking about finance, we're talking about gaming? I like to see it as a more equitable conversation than a little more elite conversation. I think Web3 has the opportunity to open that conversation and challenge. And that's what Wang is trying to do, right? He's looking at his developers and saying, what did we miss in the infrastructure in Web2, right? So what can we do now? How can we open this up? So I would like to see that conversation broader.
Yeah, it's also one of our goal to try to also start to have engage a discussion, really focus on, I say it again, each one and everyone. I went a few times last year, since 20 years now, 25. I forget how old I am time to time. as a volunteer in Africa, in several countries, and there is a reality far away from the Web3 reality. And if we don't consider all these people, all these humans, we miss the point. We will just reproduce what we have seen in Web2, in Web1, and in previous innovation cycle. And for me, it's really important when people ask me, what are we missing to see mass adoption? I say maybe some philosopher.
Got it.
We have a lot of great technical guys, developer. They are able to innovate, create some really crazy stuff. Time to time, hyper complicated in my point of view. We should also time to time think about innovating but simplifying things. But we miss long-term vision. Georges, how through what you do, how do you engage people to escape this? And it's. I was laughing because we most of us have time to time been a bit greedy. It's when we are in a bull market. It's so crazy to see that your wallet, the value of your wallet is, you go to sleep, you wake up, you have a look. Oh, I could go back to sleep. It's so easy, and then you face the reality. You lost much more money. How can we also concretely educate people to escape this primarily, attraction? I mean. Earning easy money. What can we do concretely?
Excellent. Well, key things. So I wanted to point out first off, Sherelle, I'm also from South Florida, but I'm currently in Mexico. So when we say we're changing the world, and I want to say it from the sample, because what you bring up, like the global opportunity, right? So we have students in more than 190 countries, but I've taught physically in Barbados, I've taught in Curacao, I've taught in Brazil, I've taught in Argentina. And then sometimes I'm teaching in English, sometimes I'm teaching in Spanish, sometimes somebody teaches in Portuguese. But the key point is the opportunity is global. And the point is just having access. Right now I'm in Mérida in Mexico. And because of the fact that I have access to technology, it could be the same George Levy that could be in Miami, or we could be in the metaverse. And in the metaverse, I could be in Barbados, or I could be anywhere in the world. So the opportunity is global, only to the people that actually have the knowledge and being able the opportunity to understand how it works and participate. So I don't want to take too much of the time, but what I will say is this. The beauty of this opportunity and time is just putting back in I'm going to date myself. I was a co-founder of an internet startup in 1998. We raised $147 million, and from a team of 5, we did this huge thing. But back then, we needed all these servers. We had to get the money because we needed servers. We needed people. It was just terrible to be able to do that. Nowadays, I could actually do the whole thing using smart contracts, actually program everything, adapt from Mérida or wherever in the world. The opportunity truly can be global. And this Web3 opportunity can come true if enough of us actually join together. That's why I love your mission of Web3 Stronger Together. We have to make sure that everybody has access to this opportunity because it truly is a global opportunity. And it's not just about the finances. Yes, the money is there. But the truth is, we can truly make the world a better place.
Yeah. Thank you. I can just agree. Carol, what can we do concretely to educate people, to help them not only to consider this business opportunity, but the real and concrete change we can bring one more time for each one, everyone, and everywhere?
Yeah, it's very important to educate. I mean, you were talking about accessibility as well before, Laurent, and I was thinking about the Solana smartphone that was talked about last year, because Web3 is very difficult to access. You need a wallet. You have many wallets. It's not easy to get access. And I remember Solana was working on it last year, and they wanted to start democratization of access. And even with a smartphone that can go on Web3 very easily, that would be a big change. And you could also imagine a lot of educational features about that. And I know people who are mobile first today. It's been many, many years now that the world is mobile first. So yeah, thinking in that direction of mobile first, either on Solana blockchain or maybe more mainstream blockchain like Ethereum, would be a good start.
Frédéric?
Yeah, maybe a couple of things. Question quite tough, but I think first is to avoid greed in the team itself, because if you are running the project for a quick grab of money, that's what you will do. And maybe so change point of view on this, and this leads to change how you get money from investors, because of course, where you got a VC, you got this pressure. Okay, you can turn to individual investors, but depending on how you do things, you can have a horde of people in your Discord or on your Telegram group just asking you to pump the token. Okay, so try to find alternative way and let's say less aggressive tokenomics, and just target the long run and not a quick grab. So this is how you get money for the investment. And
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
yeah, and the last point is, where does the value come from? Okay, we can do things for good. Okay, there's so many things that are possible with Web3. Okay, so we can take money from the last people who come in the project. Okay, so this is Ponzi, and there is quite a lot of projects who have done that. But we got many other ways to generate value and to share value, and we should at first focus on, okay, where the money come from. Do I selling something that people are happy to pay because it's entertainment, because it's a video game, or maybe people will be happy to sponsor that because they will help my audience to learn something, and it's their objective. So it can be institutional or private sponsorship. Or maybe also some other way to get value from data, and having your community dealing with data and producing data set, and then get value from that. So yeah, where does the value come from? Just keep this question in mind when starting a project and building your strategy.
Yeah, I would like to come back to what Carol said. You know, to attend to in real life crypto event, it's really expensive. I will give you the example of Paris Blockchain Week that will be in a few weeks. The minimum price, it's approx 1,000 euro. How can we talk about inclusivity? How can we talk about mass adoption? The Solana Fund, it's the same. Who can buy this such tool to have a more user-friendly onboarding process when it's so expensive? And my main concern is how we talk openly about this issue, because it's kind of schizophrenic speech. You know, we constantly talk about onboarding the next 1 billion users, and in the same time we produce restrictive and exclusive way to get access. And for me, I still have no clear answer. We try through Web3 Stronger Together to bring something different. We experiment. Have you any ideas, guys? How could we solve this equation, escape this schizophrenia? Cheryl.
I'm so tickled because I've had a similar conversation at a forum last week about affordability, right? I think some of us shake at that word. It's back to that digital elitism. There is a problem. We live in a world where it is unbalanced, and we'll always have the tiers. We'll always have this, but the gap is widening, and we see it happening in real time as we speak. And so we say affordability. I have students who are doing amazing work, right? And right now, we don't actually have a library at our college, one of the best historical Black colleges and universities in the country. And over 70% of our students had a 3.0 average or higher, right? We're in the middle of, we got our accreditation back. We lost over 40 acres of land. The president of our college is one of the top presidents of the university, but it was about getting it back. How does this correlate? Affordability, right? We have affordable tuition, but the average student can't afford to make this type of purchase, but they're bright minds. So I think we have to look at it holistically. How do we level the playing field? I think it's a real conversation that a lot of people don't want to engage in because it's intentional. I think Web3 presents a platform and a room of thinkers who want to have this conversation so that we can create pathways. It's going to take the finance industry, it's going to take technologists, it's going to take creators to really say, how do we do this? Is it subsidy? Is it really a ranking order? I mean, I think it makes some people uncomfortable because it brings us back to liberation. And that is a conversation that a lot of people don't want to have, but it is necessary. I mean, some people just can't afford it. And the irony is, I think a lot of those who can't afford it are the ones who, if they had the opportunity, would do right with it. So it needs to be a plan, a strategic conversation, and it shouldn't be left off the table.
Yeah. You know, I think I'm one of the rare speaker on stage. I'm regularly invited to attend to crypto Web3 event as a speaker. And I often say, guys, we are just doing a copy-paste panel discussion from the previous event. It's always the same face. We talk about, one more time, inclusivity, diversity, but it's always the same people you meet because it's the cost is a real barrier. And it's also our industry, let's say, validate this way of doing. I mean, accepting that I receive a few invitations to talk each week, and I say, why not? And then you receive a pitch deck with the sponsor package. Okay. When I have decided with my team to organize this virtual summit, I say, we invite speaker. We invite. And when I invite someone at home to have a dinner, I don't give you the bill at the end of the dinner. You know, I invite you. So what does it mean? When it's paid speaking slots, when it's you reduce the scope, you reduce the brainstorming scope, and you reproduce constantly the same vision, the same talk. And I think it's also up to us to be more proactive in this domain and saying, guys, stop. It's like greenwashing, you know, inclusivity and equality, greenwashing, you know. It's the same for me, and the reason why I want to tell you again, thank you for joining. It's for me, it's really important when I have a look to our website, the speaker page, and I see all these different people coming from all around the world. This is Web3 for me, and we should stop deifying some influencers, some well-known people, leaders, and trying to be the same. I think it's useless. I mean, in blockchain Web3, because in the Satoshi Nakamoto white paper, there is just few words, peer-to-peer. And when I read peer-to-peer, I read 1 = 1. Yep. I put a piece of code between, and I'm sure that it will be 1 = 1. Yep. And for me, it's the main promise. Okay, there is a financial opportunity, there is a technical innovation, right? But I think, and when we have a look all around what we are all facing, all drama around, I think it's time also to try to bring and experiment new business model and more less oriented on the token price or stock exchange price, but more bring value not only for us, but for the next generation, not my daughter, but the child of my daughter. And it's personally what I want, what I want to bring. What How can we better spread this kind of vision, guys? Have you any ideas? What should we all do together? What kind of action decision could we take? What can we do concretely to try to also bring and spread better spread this vision? I'm curious to have your thought on it. Carol, you have something maybe to share with us?
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to, like, accessibility. I think it's a question of money, as you said, because events are really expensive. But sometimes you can even have events that are free. Like, I went to the Binance Blockchain Summit last year, and it wasn't free, but I got a free ticket. And then I was in San Francisco at the NFT conference last year as well in November. It was free, and then I went to the Neo Tokyo because I'm a Neo Tokyo token holder, NFT holder. And even when it's free, people who come to those events are very much the same kind of people, often like white young guys who want to make money and who already have money. So just for that, I just wanted to say that like it's not only like a barrier of like accessibility in terms of can I afford it, but also am I interested in it? Do I understand it? There's someone in the comments that said their teacher, the teachers of their daughter don't know anything about Web3 or crypto. To me, it's very complicated to understand the value, to understand Web3, crypto, NFTs. Now we talk about AI and ChatGPT. That's really in front of the news, and it's the new thing, and we can mix the two, crypto, ChatGPT, whatever, Bing. So just, yeah, I think it's a very big problem, and I think, as I said at the beginning, it's mostly motivated by greed today, and it would be like amazing to be able to get out of that and to really see like the potential of education, the potential for like new businesses, the fact that of course Web3 it's horizontal and no one can decide for us, and it's a very powerful technology that's been slowly driven and built by the same kind of people that we see everywhere. Yeah, so I don't really have a solution right now. I just want to share my thoughts about that. Yeah.
But thinking about it and talking about it, it's already trying to
Yes.
to improve. Georges, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just really briefly. So just a little bit of background. I used to be the vice president for World Business Forum. We used to put big events like you're talking about, big budget events. We charge $2,000 per head, 5,000 attendees. That's $10 million for a 2-day event. People can't afford that. The speaker selections were actually people that got paid a lot of money. You have to pay to play, like you said, right? But the key point is like where I find the beauty of this, like I mentioned that I started in the internet. For example, the platform Eveland. Eveland brings the opportunity to have a big event anywhere you are, whether I'm in Merida, or whether I'm in Florida, whether I'm in Argentina, wherever we are, we can bring the event to others. That I think is the big opportunity. And that's where I think we lie. We have the chance to be able to bring all of this to people who may not be able to get on a plane, who may not be able to get a hotel room. So it's a huge opportunity for us to be able to just truly touch the entire world through these technologies. That's where I'm excited.
Thank you, George. Guys, the reason why we plan to organize a virtual summit each quarter with Eveland. Guys, the time is running fast. For the next edition, we will have a longer panel discussion because it's really exciting, and I could stay with you. We still have a last keynote for today. I will give you the mic for each one for last word. George, first.
Well, first off, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. And to any of the audience that actually wants to learn more about how to study about blockchain, Bitcoin, and crypto, I invite you to check out blockchaininstitute.com. And we're actually offering a 10% off for anybody that uses code WEB3ST, just to be able to give you the opportunity. If you want to participate in any of the online courses, please feel free. No obligation, just an invitation. Blockchaininstitute.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jean. Carol, a last word?
Yes, well, thank you very much. I was very happy to be able to talk about that. It gave me like a lot of energy and new ways of seeing like inclusivity. And I'm going to be looking forward to seeing you all of you in other panels. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Frédéric.
Yeah, thank you so much for this day. It was a pleasure to hear the different panel and to discuss with you in this session. Maybe just I'm not bullish on Web3 games, but I'm bullish on Web3 infrastructure. It's open new way to build things. So I think it goes well with classic, let's say, game production, and then you can add a Web3 layer and have huge benefit for that. And as we said, GameFi is about experimentation. So many projects will fail, and I just wanted to say a big thanks to all the builders that keep building in the winter. Spring will come, and we will make great thing together. And yes, we had a play to earn, play and earn, and let's try to do some play to save. That's what we want to do. Yeah.
Thank you. And Chirel, the last word.
Thank you so much. Thank you for first having me. iLeap Group is here to serve our community, local and global at large. So I will say this, that we all have an opportunity to make impact. If you are a part of higher education or small, medium business enterprise, feel free to reach out to us via LinkedIn or our website. What we always do is a health check. We start at the baseline to see the health of your business and your infrastructure and or your community. But we are committed to making sure that your business is a center of excellence to your community. So we were glad to be here and hoping that we continue to make impact. And I believe Web3 has a really commitment to making sure we are stronger together and that we stay connected. So thank you for having us and remembering that we have an opportunity to actually make change. Thank you.
Thanks to you guys. It was a pleasure. And as Carol said, it's a lot of energy and inspiration. And I say it again, it's not a finality, this first summit. It's a beginning. It's a long journey. We have a lot to do. And I'm really glad to see that there is so many people ready to cooperate, to collaborate, and to try to bring an alternative, and at least trying to do something and not letting things going on like it is. Thanks you again, and see you soon. Let's keep building together. Bye-bye.
Have a wonderful one.